Welcome to my Stop Fighting with Your Son podcast. If this is your first time here, I recorded 4 episodes especially for you to help you eliminate the fights right away and start connecting with your boy as soon as possible. Go to episodes 54 through 59. I have 4 boys of my own, and I know better than anyone how much you want to have a good relationship with your boy and all the things that can come in your way. If you are a mom of boys, I am the coach for you. Let's go.
Hey guys, how's it going? I have a couple of messy stories for you that make me laugh. I hope they make you laugh too. It's about how I totally messed up this week. And I think it's important for us to laugh at when we mess up, because when we don't laugh, we are judging ourselves so harshly and it feels so bad and we are just so angry, and then we take it out on others. Well, hopefully not, or we just take it out on ourselves and it just feels really terrible. So these 2 things, I just couldn't help it but laugh because they were so ridiculous. So the first one was a little bit on the weekend. I let the kids watch their iPad for an hour in the middle of the day. And I am a little bit of a screen Nazi, because I don't want them watching too much screen, just like any other mother, right? You don't want them on TV too much on iPads. But so when I do, I am very much on top of them to make sure they get off their iPads when the time's up, right? And so this weekend, one day, I told the kids, okay, time's up, and then 3 of my kids went and hopped in a hot tub, and I was tidying up the kitchen and watching them, and I let them go play in the hot tub for a while, and then it was almost dinner time, and I needed to find my oldest to. I just wanted him help with the dishwasher or something, and I was looking for him. He wasn't in his room. And I found him still on his iPad, and that's when I realized that I forgot to tell him the iPad time is over completely. And I just couldn't believe I've done that, because I have never forgotten to tell a kid that the iPad time is over. And of course, he's not keeping track of time. And knowing how all over them I am, like controlling I am with the iPad time, I just couldn't believe I've done that. So I just had to laugh. How could I have totally missed it? I've watched the other 3 kids for an hour in the hot tub, and I forgot to tell this other kid that iPad time is over. So that's one. I laughed I laughed out loud. I went for a walk actually with him afterwards, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that." And so the other thing happened the next day when I took all the kids to school, and it had snowed. It's May 10th today, but yesterday it was May 9th, and it snowed a lot, about 5 centimeters, a couple inches. And the little kids were saying, "Mama, we need snow pants." And I said, "Oh, you don't need snow pants. It's all going to melt by lunchtime." And then we get to school, and the little kids are saying, "Mama, what if our teacher says that we need snow pants for a walk?" And they're wearing like runners and just a jacket. And I said, "You don't need snow pants. Just go. You'll be fine. You'll tell your teacher it's fine. Just go. Don't go into the snow." And I send them off. So sure enough, an hour or so later, I get an email from the teacher saying, "Natalia, could you please drive back, drop off the snow pants, the mittens, and the hats for the kids?" And you should have seen my face back then, because I was not happy. I was in full denial that it was winter weather outside. I didn't care. What kind of mother sends their kids to school without proper clothing when it's winter outside? Well, apparently this mother. And so I couldn't believe it. I told everyone, because it was so ridiculous. Like, who does this? It's so funny. And of course I drove it back and I dropped it off, and they were all so happy. And, what does it look like to the teacher for her to email a mother who didn't bring clothing for her kids? So it's ridiculous and it's funny, and we all mess up sometimes in these ways, and we can only do is laugh, right? And other times when you're judging yourself for something that you should have done, just remember all the times that I've messed up, and you'll be okay, right? And remember all the times that you messed up and you laughed at it. So just follow the Buddhist advice of laugh at yourself when you mess up. And then hopefully you will be able to laugh at when your kids mess up. Now that's the next level, right? So that cracked me up. So hopefully you're a better mom than I am and sending your kids to school with better clothing. So today I want to talk to you about the best way. One of the ways. There's so many ways, but this I find is the best way to prevent yourself from blowing up. Okay? And that is to ask yourself a question. How am I feeling? How am I feeling right now? The more you ask yourself that question, the less likely you are to blow up. The less likely you are to blow up at your kids at the end of the day, at your husband, at whoever comes your way. Because if you keep it all bundled up inside, all of what you're feeling, it will explode eventually, right? So, how am I feeling right now? If you can ask yourself that regularly throughout the day, and answer that question and be honest with yourself. And then I want you to practice processing it, like feeling it. Okay, I'm feeling frustrated. Why am I frustrated? Where am I feeling it? And kind of let it sit there for a minute, right? And if you are good at feeling what you're feeling, then by the end of the day, you don't have the whole baggage of all the feelings backed up from the whole day. So that's what I call it, feeling backed up. You know how some people, like when you don't go to the bathroom for a while and you have a bunch of stuff saved up, you feel backed up and you need to go, right? You need to release it. The same thing happens with your feelings. That's why I see it a lot when people come to me, and when I talk to them, all of the emotions come flooding up to the surface. They have tears, they are feeling tired, they're feeling overwhelmed, they're feeling frustrated, annoyed. All of that comes flooding up. And they also feel so sorry for themselves because they haven't felt heard in a long time. It feels really good to let it all release, but it also feels kind of sad, like, oh my gosh, I haven't felt this. I haven't allowed myself to feel this. I feel kind of sad. I want more of this for me. I want to feel heard more. How do you do that? With this one question: how am I feeling? And ask yourself that and listen. And the more you do this, the better you will get at it. There's so many other ways for you to tap into how you're feeling through the day. And I'm sure you can find them all on the internet and from other people. And my advice to you is find the one that works best for you. Some people meditate, some people exercise, some people go for a walk. I also like to do this tapping thing where you when you're sitting down or lying down or standing up, you can take put your hands beside yourself. And I did an episode on that a while ago in the beginning of the podcast, but I'll just remind you. So you put your two hands beside your legs, like on the side of your legs, and you take turns tapping, one, then the other, then the other. And you can do that with just one finger or your whole hand. But doing that, basically what happens is it gives your body a chance to process whatever emotion is in your body, and it helps you process that emotion between the two sides of the brain, between the left side and the right side. And by tapping on both sides of the body, allows your body to do that. Okay, so I like to do that. And I also like to ask myself, how am I feeling, and naming that feeling. Once I name that feeling, which sometimes can be hard, sometimes it's super vague, like, oh, I feel bad, or, oh, I feel good, right? If you feel good, then you probably are not going to sit there and do this. But if you feel like you are tense and things are building up and you feel like you're going to blow up, this is a good question. How am I feeling? And this is a really good thing to do so you don't bring work home, right? Before you see your kids, if you don't want to blow up on your kids or on your husband, you have to unload, right? You have to process, you have to have a relief from all those feelings that you have been carrying around all day. And if you haven't processed them, they will come out one way or another, right? They will either come out by you distracting yourself or blowing up at someone, or they can come out by you just feeling them. And that's what I really wish for you, is that you check in with yourself every once in a while, as the more the better. But how am I feeling? And like sometimes I close my eyes and I name it. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't realize I was frustrated about this. Oh, right. Sorry. And sometimes we feel a lot better from venting to somebody. It's because we give ourselves a chance to feel and process some of these feelings that we have. Okay? So if you want any help with that, I would be honored to help you with your feelings. And if you are yelling at your kids and you're frustrated and you're snapping at them and you feel like you are just stuck and you can't break through, this is what I do, is I help you stop yelling at your kids and connect with your son and have a really good relationship with your son, so that you are not walking around and feeling terrible about you yelling at him. So the way to do that is just go on my website, which is www.coachingnatalia.com, and click on sign up for a free mini session. All you have to do is just sign up for a session where you and I talk and you tell me all the things that are bothering you, and I can tell you how I can help you, okay? You don't have to do this alone, and you can definitely stop blowing up at people. All right, guys, I love you all so much. Have a great week. Bye.